viewer request now. We did it! Yay! Hi, Miss Joy Japan. We did it. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. Hi, Sarah. Okay, is it Keisha or Kesha?
It's Keisha. Thank you for asking.
It's Keisha. Okay. I didn't bring my fun glasses this morning, but I have been admiring your glasses on stage because I'm a big fan of colorful frames.
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited to be live with both of you today. You guys are in. Oh, what was that?
You know, we're getting feedback on the sound. I'm trying to figure out how to make that not.
Oh, okay.
Is it coming from your laptop?
Oh, it's a little delayed, isn't it? I can hear myself.
Oh, it's because my laptop is working on it too.
Yeah, the technical problems were because we were using a laptop instead of the iPad, so we were able to make it work on my iPad. Now we'll turn off the other one.
Gotcha. Yeah, they really want you to use it on your phone. I like to do stuff on my laptop too, and they're like, no, you must do everything. You must stay on your phone for hours on this app. I was like, okay, fine. Well, so nice to meet both of you.
Thank you.
Wise.
Very good to be here. It's our first time doing this, obviously.
Hey, that's okay. And I always say it's so easy, and there's always like a little something that happens at the beginning, so it's fine. But you are in Washington, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're located just outside of Seattle.
Just outside of Seattle. Okay, so I'm just outside of San Francisco. That's my big city claim to fame. And so we're so excited to have you here today. I don't even know how I found you. I think you asked me that. You were in somebody's stories, and I just found you. And I'm wearing my shirt today.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like wearing my shirt to the concert I'm attending, but it's so comfortable. And so I first saw that, and I just loved the design of the shirt, and it made me check out your company. And I ordered myself like the mini winter box, and I was sharing with people before you hopped on some of the products that I really love. The A&H like lip and body butter stuff, like I use this so much. And I always think of it through like a self-care lens, but I just think when you're home with little kids and you can just like put on a nice smelling lip balm or just a little, you can use this for your lips too. It doesn't have to just be for the body. It's lip and body butter. It's just a nice something you can have right there. So I've used that, almost every day since I got it. So
Glad to hear it. It's one of my favorites too. And the kids love it. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time sometimes getting, my little one has eczema. He hates to get greased up. And because this one smells like mangoes, he is less reticent to get the treatment.
Yeah, well, and I think too, we're so isolated right now. It also reminds me of being on vacation.
It looks like you got banana. Did you get banana?
Yes. Yeah. And so, see right here, as I put this on, remember those times I was outside of this house? Those were nice times.
Too. Yeah, put the banana, the coconut, and the mango together, and you're swimming around in a pina colada. Yeah.
Yes, and I feel like, it's like there's a beach, there's some waves outside, just anything we can do right now. So. Anyway, but I just wanted to chat with you a little bit about how your business started. I think it's so cool because I can tell you guys are, your moms and friends, and I was looking on your website and I thought, well, I bet they might have met at work because your bios are very similar in terms of your marketing. It's like biotech specifically something where I'm like, So I was just wondering a little bit about, your story and how you got started because I love hearing about small businesses.
Yeah, well, we met at work twice. At work and work adjacent. We were in the same class at work. We were in a series of classes together and in the same cohort. And so we got to know each other through those classes over time, but also bumped into each other at daycare because our youngest kids went to the same daycare. And
we're in the same class.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was several years ago, and we've just stayed friends and live in the same community in the same school district and just had several opportunities to intersect outside of work. We never directly worked together at work. So.
Okay, but cross paths there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so when did you launch the business, and how long did that take to get started, or how did those conversations, so curious.
Oh my goodness. So this will be a tag team conversation. I've always been interested in starting a business. What it would take to do, the idea of the freedom that it can bring you from corporate America, the ability to be able to follow your own values. And at the same time, Sarah was actually, why don't you tell your part of the story?
Yeah, so I have 3 kids, and online school started about a year ago for us. And, we just muddled through the spring and summer. But when they started to go back to new schools with a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary schooler, and a lot of responsibility at work and long hours, I just sort of reached my breaking point. And I said, I can't do this anymore. So I quit my job. And that freed me up to do something with Keisha. And we had been talking throughout the pandemic and just in general about her desire to start a business. And of course, racism and the epidemic that it has been for many years. We've been talking about it since we met, but last year was epic in terms of the George Floyd murder and everyone looking at it through a different lens, or people waking up to it, and it felt like the world was ready for what we're now trying to do. So that's really how it started. So I do this full time, and Keisha still has her day job.
Mm-hmm. But this for me is self-care. So the work we do for the Ally League is as a lot of us experience, it's, you're working, the kids are there all the time, there's all of this stress, and there isn't much opportunity to get out and do something that's just for me. And this feels like I get to hang out with my buddy. We get to experiment with ways to make the world a better place. And so for me, it's my happy place.
That's wonderful. I mean, I think, this year in particular, right, it became so much more, I think a lot of us really reevaluated our values and are we actually doing stuff in line with those values? Because I think for me, I would always say I'm a therapist too and a mom, that I'm an ally and that social justice is important to me, but it's like, do I do more than just talk about it and have those conversations? And so this year's like, you know what? No, I don't. And so I think a lot of us are thinking about, even though this is a really challenging time, like you quit your job, because I have my oldest is in distance learning in first grade. It's just a crazy time, but at least it has given us time to clarify what's important to us and to really think about, are we doing what's important to us instead of just saying what's important to us? And so it's been a meaningful time, even though a really challenging time too.
Yeah. I like what you said about asking yourself, what are you doing? And that's really, Keisha and I sort of smirked when you asked when did we start this, because it's kind of funny. When we started it in September last fall, all we knew is we wanted to bring people from empathy to action. And we were brainstorming different ways to do that, about, marches and protests and government actions and petitions and things that people could be doing. But we were doing focus groups and just grappling with, how do regular people fit that stuff in if they have jobs and kids and lots of responsibilities? Plus, it's not everybody's comfort zone, including my own. Like, I am not out on there in the street. I'm an introvert, and I wouldn't be effective in doing that. I support those efforts, and they're critical to what's been happening and the progress we're making. But it took us a while to figure out what are we going to do to turn this into a business. And buying black is one of those easier actions that people can take to do something instead of just talking about it. And the wealth gap is real, and putting money into the black community, I mean, we're in a capitalist society, and that's where the power is, unfortunately. So let's move the power into the black community and give them what's long overdue so that they have their financial freedoms and, success like white people have been experiencing for generations. Yeah. So that's what we've started with, and we have other things planned, but that's sort of the easiest thing to do. And it's been a great ride so far. So we started selling our first box sort of in October, November timeframe, and we've turned a quarterly box plus a few holiday boxes on the side. Mm-hmm. Plus we're selling boxes for business use for clients and employees, gift giving and onboarding, and snack boxes and things like that. So it's been exciting and fun.
That's great. Yeah. And, I think, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe for you too, but I think for me too, during this time, it's like doing something creative was helpful as well. So I feel like you get to meet these small businesses. And what I love about your page is you get to see the face behind the name, right? Although we all have masks on because we're being safe, but I don't know, we all love a story, and to feel like we know who we're buying from is interesting. And I think, during this time when there's a lot of, can feel hopeless sometimes, right? With the situation that we're in, to feel like you're connecting to people on a more individual basis and learning about their business and their passion. And then I totally relate to having that time. You're like, it's my friend time, even though it's my business time. And so That's going to help too. But I just think having that creativity is really nice as well during this time.
Yeah, it very much is. And it brings in another one of our fundamental values. So for us, racial justice, a fundamental value all the time. Fun is one too. And, shopping can be fun. And even just discovering all of these new businesses and getting to know these business owners and learning from them, seeing them learn from each other. It's just been, it's been an incredible experience all around.
Awesome. Well, and I feel like I'm newer than I should be to the whole movement, but one of the things that I feel like I've learned is that you need to have fun and you need to have joy within it too, so that you can keep going, right? I think not only finding companies like yours, but I know for me as well, just like reading fiction by Black authors is fun for me, and just having diversity in terms of read stories that they want to tell. It doesn't always have to be an educational story about, the history of systemic racism. That's important too, but to make sure you bring in joy and rest and all of that as well, so that it's not just like one week you go really hard and you're like, this is hard, I'm tired, I'm not going to do this anymore. I think being intentional around that is really cool. And then for me as well, just learning like the history of self-care and that, embarrassingly, I didn't even know when I started parent self-care. I just think, like both of you, I was at home with these children and I wanted to do something creative. And I think, well, we need to take care of ourselves too. And that was a passion of mine. But learning so much more about, self-care really was for more marginalized groups, right? For people that were in this political movement. It was connected to Martin Luther King talked about it in the health system. The Black Panther movement talked about it. And then I was sort of reading from this article around 1990 is when sort of like the yoga mom Lululemon sort of co-opted all of that, right? And that's sort of what I knew of as the self-care movement, in addition to, just being a therapist and what we're taught in school around just making sure to take care of ourselves so that we show up better for our clients. But we don't talk about the history of self-care and really honoring that and where that came from. And it's okay for all of us to participate because I think we all benefit, but I think just to know where it came from and to honor that. And also then you can tie it into your activism, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, it's so important that everyone's activism be authentic to who they are. And that's another reason that we started the business in this way. It's that there are so many really powerful, influential, and effective activists out there right now fighting the good fight for this, for racial justice in the US and around the world. And they're so impressive and sometimes to me a little intimidating to I'm like, can I be that person who's up on a stage giving this, and realize that there needs to be a space for what's authentic to me. And I'm kind of, we joke, I'm kind of like a Labrador retriever. I'm happy to see anybody all the time. Like, I'm like, there's got to be a lane for a positive approach for people who have that to offer. And that's something, positivity and fun as a way to open the door to more meaningful actions over time is something that felt really authentic to us.
Yeah, it's very easy to feel paralyzed and overwhelmed by the enormity of the problem, and also just finding your lane. And everyone has a way to contribute within their own life, and whatever occupation you have or whatever your personality is, just seeing the world differently is really what it's all about, and recognizing diversity as an asset and a valuable thing. And the best anti-racism in my life has been personal experiences, and we really want to facilitate that. And when the pandemic ends, we hope to create events that, like you were saying before, it's not necessarily a learning event where we're talking about racism and Black history or anything like that, but literally just spending time together in mixed environments is where you experience your shared humanity. And wouldn't that be nice for Black and white people to take a breath together and play trivia or do relaxing fun things instead of feeling negativity and pain and discomfort and awkwardness? Just recognizing we're all in the same species environment, like we all want the same things, we're all human beings, and just connecting on that level is what takes all of its negativity out of multiculturalism.
Yeah. Are you too familiar, I imagine, so with Oh Happy Danny?
Yes.
With Danielle Koch. Well, I love her because she's an artist, and that sort of, and I think one of her posts that really spoke to me was she did like a funnel post about what you're interested in and aligning your activism with your interests, which I really connected with as well, because I think I can be, even though I'm here, I can be more introverted. I mean, I'm just like in a room by myself talking to the two of you, you know, it's like, versus, you know, maybe protesting or things like that. That's more of my comfort zone. But I love art, right? So I just am like excited to explore like new artists, and there's so many cool, like Wild Sugar. I don't know if you know them, but she has this like beautiful, she's in London. I'm like, I wish you were closer, but this beautiful coloring book for self-care and yoga. And she's this amazing Black artist. So I like looking at that. I like, as a mom, looking at, you know, the systemic racism with how Black moms are treated in our healthcare system. That's important to me. And then mental health, because I work with kids and I do therapy with young kids. So, and that to me, I'm like, okay, because I'm not a politician, right? Like that's not, I don't understand maybe as much of that as I should, or maybe that's not my comfort zone. And then also I was at this virtual book event, because that's all we can do these days, right? Is a virtual event. And it was for Rachel Ricketts and her Do Better book. But the person that interviewed her said, you know, the dominant group or people that are white or white passing like to be educated. We go around in the circle of like being like, oh my goodness, I didn't know this was an issue. And we get educated over and over again, but then we don't do anything else. And so I love that you gave the like messaging and the language on your website. It's really simple and just down to the point about what matters to you. And it's like, you can move from empathy to action. Here's a way you can do that. It's important for us to address the wealth gap. And here you go. And here's like just companies that we're really invested in. And then I think about for us as parents right now, I just see it as like, okay, that can be like your self-care box, your monthly reminder to make sure that you're living within your values, but to also enjoy these creative products that are out there by these amazing Black-owned businesses. So I think that's why I connected with your, you know, company so much.
Oh, so glad to hear it.
Thank you for that. We love it.
Yeah. And I know you already sold out of your Valentine's box, so we were going to focus on spring today. And by the way, congratulations. I saw that. I'm like, well, that's cool. But I know you guys, we wanted to share and reveal what's in the box today.
Yes.
I can't
Did
wait.
you get yours?
I didn't get mine yet.
Okay.
But I will post
okay,
one.
So I was like,
on
I
my
sent
social
it.
media.
All right. So this is the spring Black box.
Why don't you sit in the center so they can
Oh
see
gosh,
it?
I didn't think it would be me doing this, but okay. Gonna roll with it. Lovely packaging.
Mm-hmm.
Little note from us explaining what's in here. And Compassionist is sort of our branding to encourage people to be compassionate. It's on the shirt, but every box that we sell also has a little keychain in here with the skin tone gradient. And there's a definition in the box and on our website, but it's on Urban Dictionary. We weren't sure if we invented it or not. Someone else invented it a long time ago. But obviously just approaching these things with more compassion, and it's been in pop culture a lot lately as far as cancel culture and just recognizing that everyone's coming from a different perspective and approaching it in that lens. Not all Black people are the same, not all white people are the same. Just take a breath and listen to people with an open mind and more compassion. All right, so in here is a cocktail kit from a company called In Booze out of Michigan. This mom has, I believe, 4 kids, and she wanted an affordable, healthy way to make cocktails at home. So it's a little kit that you soak in alcohol or in lemonade if you don't want if you want a version.
Of course, the mom created that. That is very creative.
Yes. This is a magnet to remind you about a service called Serenadograms. And when you buy a box, you get a video in your email that will give you a sample. But she is a woman in the Seattle Opera and does voiceover work and acting. And she has a entertainment company with vocal artists. And when the pandemic froze their livelihood, she went online and does serenadograms in the Seattle area, you know, socially distanced outside, but also online. So that's
awesome.
Great for artists. This is a trivia game called Brilliant or BS. It's general trivia, and it was started by a woman in Los Angeles. These are eco-friendly. One of my favorite things is to be eco-friendly. So these are cloth napkins that I can go ahead and open. They're flannel. They're super soft and different fabrics for napkins. So a woman named Aisha makes those locally. She has 3 kids. These are plantains. So they're like chips, basically. You can put them in dips and with salsa, and they have a seasoning on them that makes them, how would you describe, kind of
addictive?
Yeah, addictive. Not quite as strong as barbecue, but
smoky and delicious.
Yeah, I've not had plantains before, which is another thing we like to do, is expose people to new things, and they're amazing. My husband ate the whole box without permission. This is a lemonade that is all organic, locally sourced ingredients, all natural, and they infuse them with fruit flavors. So this one is blackberry. They also have barbecue sauces. Very delicious. And this is from a company called Queen Care, local to Seattle, and they do body products. So this is a body wash. They also have scrubs and candles and different self-care items. But their business model is, she calls it a double bottom line, where it's with a mission, which Paunchy Elephant, the lemonade company, is also giving back. Virtually every business we work with gives back to the community, which is something I quickly learned when researching Black-owned businesses. There's so much we can learn from the Black community. But Queen Care is really cool because they have an internship program for young girls, and they actually have a consultant program for young girls to sell these products and host self-care parties as a way to learn about business and entrepreneurship and create an income. And this is a little sample of Black history that I dropped. Flashcards. So this is a company called Urban Intellectuals that has Black history flashcards that tells stories of Black Americans.
I think I've seen it on your website. Can you get that as like a one-off on your website as well? Okay.
They come in a set of 50 cards or something like that. 52. And we are an affiliate of theirs, so we always have it for sale on our website and earn a little commission or whatever. But they have 5 or 6 volumes, and it's just a really great way to, going back to what you said about learning the history of yoga and learning untold stories that aren't necessarily about activism, but just about Black Americans who contributed in ways that we don't always realize.
My kids love those, and they're now beating me in that category of Jeopardy thanks to these cards.
Oh, they are?
Yes, I don't take kindly to losing.
It's like you're proud and also offended, right? I mean,
yeah, I am. I'm like, you're not supposed to be looking at these cards unless I'm showing you. So you don't learn things I don't know.
Well, and I think somebody had written in the comments about getting kids more engaged with this, and it really, you know, there's so many things you can do from every age, but even, you know, those history cards or different children's books, and just by having these products in your homes and talking about these different businesses is a great way to have those conversations. And you can start from any age.
Yeah, it's true. Representation in children's books, and, you know, we hear a lot about it, but I think people don't understand or appreciate how important it is for white families and white communities too. Like, that's part of it, is mixing up our representation for everyone to reflect the real world.
Yeah.
It's not just, you know, it's not just Black kids need to see Black role models, but white kids need to see Black peers and Black role models, and we're all about that.
Yeah, looking forward to the day we don't have to have a separate deck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or a month.
Right. Or a month, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I know you were so kind to offer to give the parent self-care community a discount. And so there's a 15% discount. And can you tell everyone how long that is up for? And I'll make sure to put a reminder too.
We did not put an end date on it. It's for any one-time purchase. So you are a great partner of ours, and, you know, we're super appreciative of what you're doing to help raise awareness about our brand. So we're happy to extend that indefinitely for a one-time purchase.
Okay, well, awesome. And I will make sure to keep putting reminders up there about that. And I just want to say, like, this is not sponsored. This is not an ad. That's, you know, that's not what I do. I just found you guys and I like you. I will also say, because there's lots of t-shirts out there, this t-shirt is soft, right? We know the t-shirts from when we grew up that were like more scratchy. And this is not that. This is like the nice soft
her
material.
sister makes them.
My sister makes them. Yes, DK Scripted makes these shirts.
Another fun fact about us is everything we do is from Black businesses. So our accountant is Black, our web designer is Black, our graphic, like our marketing agency is Black, our photographer, like we always seek out Black professionals when we engage in our business. And we also have a fund that supports Black-owned businesses that might not be product-based, so it takes a special kind of business to fit into a box. But there are other Black companies that need help with, you know, their websites and their technology and social media campaigns and things like that. So we've partnered with a nonprofit to create the Ally League Fund that will pay for those business expenses for other Black businesses. So
I think I've seen that on your website too, so that's great to explain that as well. I know a friend of mine got the shirt and she said, they wrote me a handwritten card. I was like, I know. Okay.
That was her sister. I should probably start doing that.
We can't promise that
No.
forever. You have to get in now while maybe there's still some handwritten cards. So that is so great that we have that. And then it was interesting. You were talking a little bit more about you can use it for corporate things as well. And, for this year I work at a school and my heart is like parents and teachers because that's just my heart and my interest. And so I love that about my job. And so every month I do a self-care raffle for them because nobody wants to read the long self-care newsletter anymore. We're all just like, please keep your emails to a minimum. So we did this. It was something new for this year. And so we're doing, they get to choose whether they want a Compassionist t-shirt or a mini black box for the spring. And so that's the raffle prize for this month. And we got to share more with other wellness coordinators that work in our district because this is really important to us, and it's a core value of our team as mental health professionals to do better and to keep the conversation going. So I just have I just have loved everything that you've done, and especially as moms too, right? I think that's part of the connection as well. It's like we do really incredible things while we're also raising humans. So
It's true. We are super overachievers, and we're compassionate. We're really great people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was there anything else you wanted people to know or to share about? I know you're also on Facebook. I tend to be more active on Instagram, but just anything else you would want people to know about,
So the only thing that I would add is not necessarily a plug for the Ally League at all, but just encouragement. I know that it's really, really, really hard to put yourself out there and to be actively anti-racist when you're just learning what to do. And so I guess what I would share is keep trying. And if you need a little encouragement, my email address is on that website. Engage with our website, reach out to us. What we want is to encourage and be positive and help people along. So keep engaging with us, and we're really looking forward to working with all of you to make the world a better place. Oh, I saw a question about, do we have a Facebook group? And we don't. Should we?
Maybe we should when we have more capacity. We have so many. That's a good idea, and one that we will put on the list of things to do when we have more people to help us day to day and things like that. But that is a great idea. There are a lot of Facebook groups out there for allies and people learning about how to do better in anti-racism. And honestly, my preference is not to do a ton of talking and nitpicking about, is this the right thing, or is this, I'm in a lot of those Facebook groups because I listen and learn, but it also frustrates me because if you put up a question about a hypothetical situation, there's no one right answer, right? And different Black people are going to have different advice, and you really just have to read the room, read the situation, make personal follow-ups if you're afraid that you've hurt someone's feelings or you've done something. Like, it's always going to be different. So that's why I get frustrated with the Facebook groups, at least if that's the intention. But we're more than happy. Like, we're trying to build a community on Instagram, and I guess whatever we would say publicly. So I don't know if we need a private group, but it is a good idea.
Well, and I have to give a little shout out that that question came from Josephine, who's a good friend of mine. She also works at Facebook, and and she has helped me a lot with my social media because, with Instagram and everything. And she used to live near Seattle, so I know she's probably really loving getting to know this. Because she is probably interested in some of those businesses and things like that. So thank you for that suggestion.
Social media is one of our biggest challenges, just
really
because
is.
I myself didn't use Instagram at all until this business started, and I subscribed to a masterclass, and you can spend hours trying to figure it out, and it's challenging for an old lady like me, but we're trying.
Yeah. Well, we're getting it, and yeah, I had to look at YouTube videos to figure out how to do things. It's, when you're younger and maybe like teens and early 20s, it's very intuitive. So I wasn't used to having to work to figure it out. Like, I can do this. And I had to watch YouTube videos to teach me. So, whatever. I did it. We're here.
Thanks, an adventure and learning. Yeah.
You need a teenager volunteer.
Yes, we do.
We really do. Oh, my old lady Instagram posts are so embarrassing.
Yeah. I go through phases of like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. And then maybe I figure something out, but it takes a couple tries and then I forget the next day. And, it's just not intuitive to me yet. And even just logging onto this live didn't work on the desktop. We had to move to the iPad. It's just like, come on.
Well, I feel like out of my coworkers, the ones with teenagers have an advantage because they help them with all their tech issues, whenever.
And I've been the mean mom that didn't let my daughter get Instagram until recently. She's 15.
She's 15. She's like, I could have been helping you, Mom, if you let me.
Yeah, she does sometimes. And I'm sure she's just like, see, told you.
Well, I just want to say thank you. This was so fun. And I'll put more in my stories, but check out what you would like. I really liked getting the black box. I thought that was really fun. But I have worn my t-shirt a lot too, and you can get a 15% discount. And this was just great to meet you on a more, get to know you guys a little bit more this way.
Yes,
absolutely.
Thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure.
Of course, and follow them over too so you can see what's going on, and then that way you see the different businesses and you can follow those businesses, and that's been fun for me too.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.